Hello and welcome to the Embroidery Legacy. In today's video, Samantha and I are going to be showing you how to create this in-the-hoop Santa Stuffie ornament / wall hanger. This is an awesome project to spice up your home this holiday season, plus it'll look great on your Christmas tree. For a complete list of supplies and fabric dimensions needed for this project, be sure to download the included PDF tutorial. Let's get started. We're going to begin with the Santa body stitching directions. So for step 1, we're going to hoop the stabilizer and stitch the placement line for his body. In step 2, we will lay the Santa body fabric over top of the placement line, tape it in place, and then stitch the outline of the body and the placement line for his face. In step 3, we will place the face fabric over top of the placement line and tape it into place. From here, we can stitch the face details. After they're stitched, be sure to trim the excess fabric around the face close to the stitching line. In step 4, we will stitch the placement lines for the boots. Remove the hoop from the machine and fold 2 of the boot fabric pieces in half widthwise. Line the fold up with the placement line and tape them into place. Moving on to step 5, we will begin by stitching the boot details and the placement line for the gloves. We're going to fold 2 of the glove fabric pieces in half widthwise and then line the fold up with the placement line. We will then tape them into place and stitch the tack down line. In step 6, we will remove the hoop from the machine and turn it over. Fold the back body bottom in half widthwise and then place the fold on the placement line in the center of the Santa body. Do the same with the Santa back top and tape it into place. In step 7, we will change to our red bobbin, return the hoop to the machine, and stitch the Santa body and the placement lines for the boots. In step 8, we will remove the hoop from the machine and turn it over. We'll change back to our black bobbin and fold 2 of the boot fabric pieces in half widthwise. Line the fold up with the placement line and tape them into place. Return your hoop to the machine and stitch the tack down lines for the boots. In step 9, we will once again remove the hoop from the machine and turn it over. Fold 2 of the glove fabric pieces in half widthwise and line the fold up with the placement line. Tape it into place, return your hoop to the machine and stitch the tack down lines for the gloves. In step 10, the Santa body is now finished. Use pinking shears and carefully cut around Santa. We are now on the final step of Santa's body, and for step 11, we will use a small amount of fiber fill to stuff the gloves and boots first, and then stuff the rest of Santa's body. Hand stitch the opening closed and set it aside. We can now move on to Santa's beard and hat. In step 1, we will hoop the stabilizer and stitch the placement line for the hat brim. Stack 2 of the pieces of the hat brim fleece on top of each other, lay them over the placement line, and then tape them into place. From here, we will stitch the tack down line and stitch the placement line for the beard. And just to note, you can trim the fleece on the right side if it extends too far from the tack down line. This will ensure enough room to sew the hat. Moving on to step 2, we will lay the beard felt over the placement line and tape it into place. From here we will stitch the tack down line, stitch the placement line for the mustache, and carefully trim around the beard. In step 3, we will lay the 2 pieces of mustache felt on top of the placement line, and then stitch the tack down line in the mustache details. Afterwards, we will stitch the placement line for the hat. In step 4, we will fold the short end of the hat fabric up 1 inch on the wrong side for each piece. Place the hat fabric right side up with the fold even with the bottom edge of the placement line. Place the second hat piece wrong side up over top of the other with the fold even at the bottom. Tape it into place and stitch the tack down line. Now that we've successfully sewn out the Santa beard and hat, as well as Santa's body, we can move on to the final assembly. For step 1A, carefully trim around the beard and mustache. For 1B, we will carefully trim around the edge of the hat. Turn the hat right side out and be patient, this takes a bit of time. You can use a point and turner or a chopstick to push the top of the hat out. From there, we will sew on a jingle bell. For step 1C, we will snip the hat brim 1/8 of an inch apart going close to the tack down line, and then fluff it up. For step 1D, we will sew the button in the center of the ribbon. And finally, in step 1E, we will twist the wire to create a loop in the center. Wrap the wire around a dowel or pencil and bend a little loop at each end. Moving on to step 2 of the assembly, for step 2A, we will hot glue the ribbon around the middle following the placement line. For step 2B, we will place a dot of glue under the nose and position the beard over the face. When you're happy with it, add more glue to hold down the sideburns. In step 2C, we will hot glue the hat into place. Now moving on to the final step of the assembly, we will move on to step 3A, where we will hot glue the hat brim. Moving on to the final step, step 3B, we will hand sew the wire hanger onto the back of the gloves. And there you have it. Congratulations, you've just created an adorable In-the-Hoop Santa Stuffie. We can't wait to see where you place them, and be sure to share your stitch outs. Thanks for watching.